So was that kind of eye-opening for you to watch, to know what had actually happened, and then to watch the media cover it?
Like I was already hearing about fake news, right?
Yeah.
But when it happens to you, it's like this feeling like, girl, oh my goodness, you know? And then I loved it because Brian Stetler comes on CNN and was like, let's talk about who this Kim Klacik is.
I'm like, oh yes.
Yeah. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, tell me about myself, you know? And he's like, you know, she wasn't even elected to the Baltimore County Republican Central Committee. She lost. I'd been on the committee at that point for 2 years. I'm like, dude, you could literally just go to the committee website and see my name.
So he was just straight wrong. He was just putting out misinformation.
Oh my gosh. Everything he said was wrong. Meanwhile, at this point, you know, I'd been on Fox News, I'd been on One America. You could see any interview and hear them say Klacik. He says, Kim Klacik. I'm like, seriously? I'm like, you couldn't even. So not only are all the so-called facts wrong, you couldn't even pronounce my name.
Oh,
so
man.
how much research did you really do on this?
Well, you know, I was mispronouncing Kayleigh McEnany's name for like a month or longer. And it never occurred to me. But to be fair, I just missed that one. That's my bad. In terms of CNN, I don't even think they use Google.
No,
I don't think he actually looked into who you were or what you were talking about.
No.
And I gotta say, you know, I take particular offense to the left social justice narrative because it's rules for thee but not for me. The idea that they could attack Candace Owens as a white supremacist, but then you could take a white man, a wealthy white man like Brian Stelter, and he could just totally misrepresent you. No one bats an eye.
Right.
Now, I don't care about his race or yours. If he's going to criticize you, I think it's fine so long as he gets the facts right.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But it flies in the face of what their supposed narrative is really supposed to be about.
Absolutely. And the fact that his show is called Reliable Sources.
I know, right?
Kills me.
It's amazing.
And he wrote a book called it's called like Hoax, I think. And he talks about the Fox News Trump pipe. Yeah. It takes one. It takes one to know one. It's about like the Fox News to Trump pipeline. The craziest thing to me. So you know, throwing it back to the first thing we were talking about with Trump getting this Nobel Peace Prize. Mm-hmm. When the news broke, at first there were like some tweets popping up where they're like, "Oh, Trump's gonna, you know, he's being nominated. This is a huge deal." So I did a Google search and I tried to read a bunch of different sources. Yeah. The only source I found that had a neutral presentation was Fox. It was Donald Trump has been nominated for Nobel Peace Prize by, you know, this guy. He's a member of the Norwegian Parliament who's a conservative, blah, 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 blah. Here's what he said. Then they added in a little Obama criticism. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
All the other outlets were saying he was like a far right, you know, ultra nationalist. Like it was very, very loaded. And it wasn't telling me about what the guy was saying about Trump or what his goal was. It was trying to insult the guy or poison the well before I had a chance to even understand what was happening. And that's the media today.
Yeah.
Well, outside of CNN, though, have you any other run-ins with just fake news, putting out misinformation about you or your campaign?
Absolutely. So I believe is it MSNBC? Yes. Tiffany Cross. Not too long ago, I think. What's the young lady's name on the View? Sunny
Austin?
Yes.
Oh, you know that? I don't watch
Austin.
the View.
Yeah.
So.
It's a lady show.
They both said that we were tokens, and that's why we were chosen to speak at the RNC convention. And Tiffany Cross went to further and said it was a minstrel show. And
Wow.
I had no idea I was pretending to be black. I've been black for 38 years. But yeah, no, it's insane. And what's interesting about it is I wasn't even chosen by the RNC to speak. It actually came from the Trump campaign. The RNC apparently wasn't too thrilled. They were like, oh, she had a campaign ad. That's cute. But I mean, this is the RNC convention. Yeah.
You were kind of last minute, right?
Very last minute.
Yeah.
I found out almost like when everybody else found out. And so that came from the Trump campaign. So, you know, for her to say that the RNC is throwing us in there, most of the black Americans that spoke at the RNC were picks from Trump. You know, this wasn't like some RNC push to say, oh, look, we've got these black people. But then it's like, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because if we weren't there, then it's, oh, we're all the black people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
This is why it really is easy to criticize their fake ideology. I think the Democratic establishment is using the social justice progressive left and pretending like they care. It gives them, they've really crafted this narrative so they can weaponize it in either direction, like you just said. Mm-hmm. But what's particularly offensive to me in this regard is the RNC was doing what they wanted, right?
Right.
To prop up marginalized voices to express themselves.
Right.
And so they insult you directly with a slur because they don't like that you're speaking as a Republican.
Yeah.
That's the go-to, I guess.
It is, but I'm excited. I go on The View on September 18th.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So
It's
I
gonna be
get
spicy.
to. Yep, I'm gonna talk to Sunny myself.
Do it.
Oh, interesting.
Set her straight.
And-
I'm
and-
excited.
Yeah.
You're gonna. Well, I won't go there. I was gonna. I don't want to ask about the racial components involved in. But here's what I want to do. I want to jump over. Actually, no. I want to show this first. Right. This is a story from The Spectator.
Oh.
Kim Klacik and the urban GOP effort. Could a simple walk through the streets of Baltimore expand the Republican Party? Now, the general idea that we're seeing, they mentioned that you launch this ad, it goes viral, and we had Billy Prempeh on, a couple weeks ago, and he's brilliant. He's a really smart guy. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And he made a really, really important point about the Republican Party and what they need to do. He's in this district where I think it's like D plus 13 or even more than that. It's Democrat.
Yeah.
And so my question to him, which is I'll have a similar question for you, is it feels like it's going to be a really uphill battle. I mean, for you're in a D plus 26 district.
Right.
So for those that aren't familiar, that means it's like 26% more Democrat or something to that effect. Like it leans in that direction. But what he said was, no matter what happens, if I win, I win. If I lose, I win. You know why? Because he's there, he's doing the work, he's talking to people, and he's spreading these ideas.
Right.
And so the crazy thing to me is, we kind of were broaching this a little while ago. Why isn't the GOP doing anything? You mentioned they said you can't win, don't bother.
Right.
But how do they ever expect to win if they've abandoned these areas?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I don't know. And this is like, even in the special election, I would do hashtag chipping away, because you got to chip away, right? Before maybe I won't win, but if you don't chip away.
No, you can't say it. You got to have positive mental attitude.
Yes. I am going to win. I'm going to win. But like he said, it's a win when you just at least chip away and expose what the other party isn't doing. When we did when I uploaded the videos about the trash, and I have to say, at that point in time, in July 2019, there were, I think it came down to close to 70,000 backlog cases in the sanitation department. The Department of Public Works is what picks up the trash in the city. They went to City Hall. City Hall was like, why aren't we picking up the trash in some of these areas? And they said, well, we need more funding. That's always it, right? They always need more funding. Then, after Trump calmed down, he wasn't really talking about Baltimore anymore. Congressman Cummings passes away. Basically, I think it was not even 5 months later, we find out that they've taken that 70-something thousand backlog cases to 260.
Whoa.
And they didn't get more funding.
So
I was like, wait a minute. So you picked up the trash. You didn't get more funding. What happened? Is it because you got called out on it? Because people started looking into it? Was someone investigating? And then you thought, you know what, maybe we should go pick up the trash. This is the kind of stuff that happens. And it's, again, here's a situation where you didn't have to throw even any more money at it.
Yeah. It's not even a question of the congressional representative. Where's any representative for these areas to get the job done? Did it really come down to your efforts to finally start making people... You know what? I'm going to stop right there and put it this way. It's like market competition for politics. If the Democrats have a supermajority, it doesn't matter what their goals are. They don't have to do anything because they know people are going to check mark the D on the voter form.
Right. As
long as there's competition in any capacity, even if it's in name only, people actually have to start working for the people they represent.
Yeah.
If that's why you said chipping away. And that's why I think Billy was saying, even if he loses, he wins, because now there's some competition. We're going to be coming for you, and we're going to go for it. We're going to try and make these changes.
Yeah.
Well, so I'll put it this way. Your ad specifically highlights the trash. I'm sure you're familiar with Scott Pressler, right?
Yes.
Didn't he go to West Baltimore and he cleaned up?
Yes. As soon as I posted those videos, they came out. Trump was talking about it. He messages me and he's like, I'm going to come up there and pick it up. And I was like, okay, but which street? Because
all of them.
I don't know if you've been here, but there's a couple of streets you probably shouldn't do it on, but I will help you out. So he came to town. I was giving him some street names of where I found the trash. A lot of it was by Coppin University. And he said, okay, we're going to get our team up there. He mobilized all those volunteers. It was amazing. And then you know what was crazy about it? The local media, the Baltimore Sun, then writes, "How dare he come pick up the trash?"
That's right. Yep.
So crazy.
That's why when we started this show, they want to end the Nobel Prize because Trump is nominated. It's the perfect formula of their strategy. So Scott Pressler and a bunch of volunteers and with you are able to actually make this transformation, which is positive for everybody. And I saw the videos he posted. So for those that aren't familiar, it's actually that simple. Trump said, what he said, it was like a rat-infested asshole or something.
A rat-infested, rodent-infested.
And
did he? Yeah, I think
he cussed at it.
He might have cursed, yeah.
But I think what happened was they dragged Trump for it, but actually someone else had previously said something similar they didn't care about. I think it was Jon Stewart, actually. There was like a clip from The Daily Show way back when where he said Baltimore was, just like
our own mayor walked through the year previously and said, "I can smell the dead rats," as she's walking through with press.
Here's what I love, that they wrote a hit piece about a dude who got volunteers to clean up garbage.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we started seeing this narrative that they were just trying to make Trump look good or something. And I started laughing because I'm like, oh no, you got us. You've tricked us by going out and cleaning up trash. Oh no, you've made Trump look good. What's the trick there?
Right.
You cleaned up trash. Okay, we're happy. I don't understand. That's insane to me.
No, it is. And if people go back and look at Scott Pressler's wardrobe, he wasn't even wearing anything that said Trump. He wasn't advertising Trump at all.
Yeah.
That's what was so crazy about it. He was like him. I really feel like I just got to come pick up the trash. I can't believe kids live there, and that's what all he was trying to do.
And he's done it several times.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever there's they always try to push the narrative that his real goal isn't to help anybody. It's to make Trump supporters look good and help Donald Trump. And I'm like, I don't understand how that makes, how is that a smear against him? He's trying to make Trump look good by going around and cleaning up the neighborhood and helping people.
Yeah.
Is it bad that he's, you know what, man, look, if Trump was an evil villain and he was like, I'm going to win over the hearts and minds of Americans by helping them get jobs and making the economy better and getting them health care. That's my evil plan to win. It's like, okay. Helping people. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing to me.
That's the best way to put it. Oh my gosh.
But isn't that crazy?
Awesome. It is.
They literally wrote a hit piece on that.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.